Good afternoon, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here in the Home Weather Office for Friday, February the 9th, 2024. In today's detailed weather discussion, we are keeping an eye on the Northeast as another nor'easter is likely to rapidly develop on Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024. This is likely to bring big-time blizzards, strong winds, and some severe weather for the Deep South. So in today's detailed weather discussion, we'll break down all those details. So here's a look at the very latest European model. This just got done rendering literally like 30 minutes ago. So this is fresh out of the press, or off the press, I should say. And we can see this model is indicating quite a bit of heavy rainfall. We could see some flooding all the way from eastern Texas into northern Louisiana, as well as northern Mississippi, northern portion there of Alabama, as well as Tennessee. Because we have this stalled frontal boundary, that means we get a lot of training storms. We get storms that just dump rain in the same areas, and when that really occurs, we get a lot of flooding that usually becomes the biggest concern. So it is this area along that stalled frontal boundary that we're looking at a lot of heavy rainfall, maybe even some severe weather. In fact, let's look at Sunday afternoon. We could have some severe weather here for the Deep South, all the way from eastern Texas into Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, as well as Georgia. I know some of you are probably asking, am I going to stream live on this event? And the answer is no, I am not. I actually have work on Sunday. Every time these events want to take place, I'm doing something other than being at home. So it's just really unfortunate with the timing. I would love to stream live on these severe weather events, but it's just the timing of this is just not going to allow me to do that. But I'll try to do what I can to keep you all updated, maybe on Twitter, maybe on Discord at WeatherForce. So now, by Monday, the system becomes more dynamic. In fact, by Monday afternoon, we get a lot more heavier rainfall that falls over the southeast, like Georgia, the Carolinas. Still raining pretty good in Tennessee as well as Kentucky. Maybe some snow. There's a potential there for southern Indiana to get a little bit of snow out of this. If you're in northern Florida, you get a little bit of rainfall from that cold front that drapes across the area, but it really isn't until we get into, say, Tuesday. In fact, it's off to the races for Tuesday early morning for your morning commute. Potentially, if you're an early riser, like say at 2 or 3 in the morning, yeah, there's going to be a lot of snow that falls across the Pennsylvania area into West Virginia. This is very concerning, okay? And it might not seem like that because the system's going to be moving relatively fast, but it's also going to be rapidly deepening. So we're going to get a lot of moisture being flung around the system on the cold side. And we can see that gradient in temperature showing you why we're going to see the snow. Over Pennsylvania, this could impact New York City. We will have to really watch where the benchmark of this is. This is basically your benchmark right in here somewhere. Actually, to be specific, your benchmark is right in here. So that is not far to the north from that benchmark, okay, where a lot of the snow could fall over the I-95 corridor as well as New York City and Long Island. If we look at the previous model run from the Euro, we could see that was a little further south, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, we are going to get feet of snowfall in New York City. Now, this latest run, the surface low has moved a little further north, and now it looks like barely over downtown New York, the metro area, as well as Long Island, may be kind of on a tug-of-war of either rain or snow. But either way, this storm is going to have a lot of impacts with it. Strong winds, blizzard conditions, potentially a highly impactful storm for the Northeast. And that goes all the way into Tuesday. So this is going to be a quick one, luckily. It's going to go all the way from, say, early Tuesday morning, and then by the time we'll even go into Tuesday afternoon, that should be out of there, and it looks like everyone will be beginning to dry out. Well, in this sense, snow will stop, and then if you're further south, things should begin to calm down. It's going to be a very fast mover, not going to last for a day or a couple of days. This is going to be in, and it's going to be out very quickly. Now you might be asking, how much rainfall could we see or could you see out of this next winter storm? Well, further south, where it's likely to only be rain this go-around, yeah, you're looking at quite a bit of moisture, especially all the way from eastern Texas all the way into Tennessee. You might get as much as 4 inches of rainfall. In northern Mississippi, northern Alabama could get the most in that little corridor, that little swath of maybe even seeing 5 inches of rainfall in a matter of a couple of days. So yeah, there would likely be some more significant flooding. As matters of fact, there is already a slight risk for heavy rainfall all the way from, say, if you are in Lufkin, Texas, if you're in St. Augustine, Texas, all the way to Monroe, Greenville, Tupelo, if you are in Florence, Huntsville, Chattanooga, if you're in Knoxville, you are under a slight risk for heavy rainfall and flooding. So yeah, this is not to be taken very lightly, folks. Make sure you have your flood plan in place. If there's flooding in your area, move to higher ground. If you do encounter flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. A lot of deaths, a lot of fatalities happen in vehicles. So don't be one of those victims that has died because, oh, I'm just going to drive through water that looks only like 2 or 3 inches deep. Instead, it is feet deep. So please don't be one of those people because, yeah, this storm right here in this narrow corridor, you get a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time, and usually that leads to more significant flooding. That's not all what you're going to see. You're also going to see some severe weather, especially further south, like Jackson, Meridian, if you're in Monroe, Shreveport, if you're in College Station, if you're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yeah, you're under a marginal and slight risk for severe weather. The good news is this is not a significant slight risk for severe weather. So we're not looking at any significant probabilities of anything right now at the moment. But there is a slight risk, and I wanted to point that out in today's video. So I'm not missing anything that is very valuable to this video to a lot of you that are watching. Because there is going to be heavy rain, and there is going to be severe weather for day 3 and day 2. Well, the day 2 is a slight risk for heavy rainfall, and then the day 3 is a severe weather risk for the deep south. How about snowfall totals for some locations? Well, here's a look at the European model with total snowfall accumulations. Depending on which variable you use, I'm using Katura. It's another way to kind of measure snow versus the 10:1 ratio. Some of these could be 10:1 ratios, but it really doesn't matter. You're going to be looking at quite a bit of snowfall over, if you're in New Mexico, if you are in Colorado, looking at some decent snowfall there. If you're across portions here of the Midwest and portions of the Southern Plains, you're only looking at about 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. But the area that I really want to point out in this video is the Northeast. And I'm telling you what, folks, this is pretty significant by all standards for a system that is moving this fast. Again, assuming that the system is moving this fast, this is how much snowfall you might end up seeing on the Euro. That is impressive. If this storm system slows down any more than what the models are indicating, you could see a lot more snowfall than what the Euro is showing. So for the time being here, this whole corridor here is likely to experience the heaviest snowfall. Maybe 1 to 3 inches over New York City for Long Island. Again, according to the 12Z run, if we look at last night's run, you can see maybe 6 inches, right? So we can see that corridor has moved a little further north, but still going to be a big snowstorm nevertheless for areas like in northern New Jersey, Pennsylvania, as well as southern New York State. If you're in, say, Connecticut, if you're in New Hampshire, you might see 1.5 feet of snowfall out of this southern portion there of Vermont, New Hampshire. Might see about 1 foot of snow. Southern Maine, anywhere between 5 to 10 inches. All right, so I do expect this corridor of heavy snowfall to shift north or south a little bit, and we expect it to maybe show more snow or lesser snow, right? We don't have a concrete answer yet, but we know there is going to be a big-time snowstorm in this area in accordance to the national blend of models, which also show this corridor right in here. Let me actually circle this in. This has the best chance. This is the national blend of models. This is the super blend, blending all the ensembles and all the global computer models to put into one model. showing maybe as much as 6 inches, maybe 5 inches in northeastern portion there of Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, as well as portions there of Rhode Island. That can get quite a bit of snowfall out of this. Right now, there's still some uncertainty, but you get the idea. So now, what about the winds? The winds are going to be a little bit of a story with this system, especially over the northeast, where we could see wind gusts anywhere between 35 to 45 miles an hour if you are in, say, Texas, Oklahoma, as well as portions there of the deep south. You might see 34 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts. Either way, it's going to be a breezy storm, so make sure you take that into consideration. If we get any flooding here, weakened tree roots and stuff, we could see a lot of fallen trees across the Mississippi, Alabama, and southern Tennessee. So keep that in mind. Heavy rainfall on top of strong winds really will exacerbate the down tree potential and power outage potential as well. Well, with that being said, I sure hope you all enjoyed today's detailed weather forecast on that potential major nor'easter that is expected to rapidly develop in the next day or so over the Midwest and the Deep South, and then eventually move into the Northeast and the Eastern Atlantic as a very strong system. If you guys want to get the latest updates on this, you could follow me on Twitter, as well as you can follow me on Discord as well. Be sure to check out the Discord server, Weather Force, where I will keep you all updated on this situation. I will not have a video out tomorrow. Oh, wait. Tomorrow I should have a video out. I'll see if I'll see what my schedule is like. And probably we'll have to update you on this because we'll probably figure out more. We'll pretty much know exactly who is going to get what at that point in time. But otherwise, share if you guys like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want to see more on the channel. As well as be sure to hit that like button if you haven't liked the video today. And ring that bell icon if you want to get all notifications every time I have a YouTube upload. Now, I don't have the slide on my screen, but one more announcement is that hurricane season is nearing our calendar, basically, right? We're nearly about almost a little over 3 months out. We're about almost 4 months out from the hurricane season to begin. I will have a seasonal outlook or kind of a seasonal forecast for April the 15th that will be released on the channel. And we're gonna have to really look at this year's hurricane season because it looks to be a very busy one. And a lot of you really enjoyed my videos on the hurricane season last year, especially when we were tracking a couple of those major hurricanes. But otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with you more, hopefully tomorrow.